keeping up the all-time scoring list at Xavier, finds himself 9th all-time in school history.
Georgetown has been dynamic all year long, but more so over the last 3 weeks with the return of the senior, Achara. 3 goals and 1 assist already, and striking fear into the heart of opposing defenses.
Only 4 games back into the lineup for Achara, and he has not missed a beat. One of the most dynamic attacking players in all of college soccer.
Exciting Big East soccer action next, here from Shaw Field in Washington, D.C. Dan Halverton, Tom Greaser here at Shaw Field, moments away from kickoff. A gorgeous fall afternoon in Washington, D.C. As, Tom, you take a look at the starting 11 for Xavier, including Rosenberg anchoring the team at the goalkeeper position.
Yeah, and it's a freshman, Chase Weber, a local product played out of the Baltimore Armor Academy team in the center of the defense.
And meanwhile, for the Hoyas, in the rotating goalkeepers, it's Nick Apolitis, the reigning Big East goalkeeper of the week, anchoring the defense.
And for Georgetown, it's freshman Daniel Wu, who missed a game or 2 out of the starting lineup, back in there. And Georgetown coming off an impressive non-conference win at Maryland at Monday night.
Achara heads into the path of Dotson. Dotson falls, but no foul whistled there. It's really, Tom, a perfect afternoon for soccer. Settle in for the action here on the Big East Digital Network. Turnover by O'Hearn. Xavier tries to work the ball through the midfield. It's Zawadzki to intercept. Now Montez, who's been dangerous. And, Tom, the keys for the Musketeers today.
Defensively, it's absorbing pressure. Georgetown will probably have more of that possession, so it's staying organized. And when they win the ball, counter with a purpose. And this Xavier team under Coach Fleming always wants to be the more physical side.
Dotson receives the ball from Nealis, not able to connect with Montez, but the Hoyas on the front foot early. And, Tom, as we look at the keys to the game for Georgetown, possess with purpose.
Yeah, and wearing them down. We've talked about the depth that this Georgetown team has. Coach Weiss thinks it's the deepest team he's had. It won't be unusual to see 6 or 7 attacking players kind of subbed in and out.
Quick throw-in taken, finds Zawadzki 30 yards from goal. Left-footed service. Aiming for Dotson, but it'll be intercepted, and Ryan Bellavance able to clear.
And Bellavant's a key player for this Xavier team. Graduate student, came from Colgate where he played in 3 straight NCAA tournaments. He understands what it takes to get a team into the tournament and win a conference, and Coach Fleming loves his experience.
Here's Ethan Lochner getting 2 consecutive starts here. The grad student gave the Hoyas important minutes as they settled into that match in College Park under the lights on Monday night.
And it was quite the performance, especially in the second half. Talked about possession with purpose. The Hoyas had that against the Terrapins.
Montez will battle for it and win the Hoyas a throw against Chase Weber there in the corner. And Tom, there is our player to watch for Georgetown, Achara, missing the first 8 games of the season with a lower body injury, but he's been dynamic and a handful for every defense that's had to match up with him for the last few weeks.
Yeah, 3 goals and an assist in the 4 games, including 2 game winners. And there's a good look at Matthew Rosenberg. He's also a transfer on this Xavier squad. Has a great gene pool. His dad played collegiate soccer at the University of Bridgeport, and Coach Fleming thinks he is a great leader, can envision him being a captain next year for this Musketeer squad.
Tom, speaking of Coach Fleming, the winningest coach percentage-wise against Brian Weiss in the conference. In fact, Xavier's won 3 consecutive regular season matchups. No other Big East team can say so. Yeah,
Coach Fleming has had a lot of success against this Georgetown program. Not only the winningest coach against Coach Weiss, he's also become the all-time leader of wins at Xavier. Got up to number 103 with their recent victory against Creighton.
It's been an interesting season for Xavier so far. They started so well out of conference, sluggish in the beginning of the Big East season, losing their first 3, now fighting back from the bottom of the table.
Yeah, and they've had some adversity, some injuries throughout the year that have caused some problems with lineups, but Coach Fleming believes that he's found a group now that understand how to play together and that he trusts. And one thing that Coach Fleming really stressed, this is the second consecutive game they've had where they had a full week of preparation. And he thinks that his team is much better when they have that time to prepare for the opponent.
Here's Georgetown's leading goal scorer, Jacob Montez, with 5 on the season. Montez playing in that withdrawn striker position that many great Hoyas through the years have played, including the likes of Steve Newman, who put the Hoyas on his back to their only appearance in the College Cup, and that's certainly a place that Brian Weiss and his staff would like to see the Hoyas later in the year. Here's Achara with a step over. Good peel, he'll get to the end line. Dangerous cross to the back post over Rosenberg, but by everybody.
And there you see why Achara causes sleepless nights for opposing coaches.
Nealis, dangerous cross. Headed away by Webert. And now Georgetown will reset through Rio Hope Gund.
And Dan, to go back to the point you were making on Montez, it's really been a breakout season for the junior.
Great ball from Achara, finds Fisher. Fisher, a one-year starter here in his senior year. And it's been a steadying influence. He and Dante Polvera, the freshman, rotating in the midfield. Header by Dotson, finds Achara's chest, a shot just wide. He had Rosenberg going the wrong way, but hits it wide.
Yeah, and Achara getting the better of Bellavance there as well, as Georgetown is sharp early on. A good ball served in. Achara gets on the second one, and a quick release trying to hit it to the left post.
And there you see, Tom, for those who haven't seen the Hoyas in action, the right back on the team sheet, Dylan Nealis, operates as a right wing in many cases, bombing up that right side.
And just puts so much pressure on opposing team defenses, forcing them to maintain discipline and shape. And I'll tell you, Nealis, the reigning Big East Defensive Player of the Year, certainly a favorite for that this year as well.
Georgetown 3-0-1 in the conference. The only blemish, a 0-0 draw in Chicago at Wish Field, where DePaul had their best results of the Big East season. Good aggressive switch of the play, finds Sean O'Hearn, the junior defender, and now Montez, who has the freedom to explore every inch of this field. This is our first look on the screen of Derek Odom. Odom, who feels like he has been here forever. The senior from England, one of the most dangerous Musketeers.
Yeah, the combination of Odom and Wilson in the center of the park for Xavier is key. A lot of experience with those two. Wilson will play that traditional 6 role. Odom will move forward in that 10 position and join the attack with Sergei up top.
Here's our first look at Cameron Bell, coming off an exceptional season last year. Was a real standout in Xavier's win over Georgetown a year ago.
Yeah, and credited with his first career goal in that matchup last year, and that was a come-from-behind victory for Xavier last year, winning 3-2 here.
Xavier winning 3-2. This year, Tom, the Hoyas yet to concede more than a goal in a match.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about possession with purpose and the depth of the attacking players for Georgetown, but it has certainly been a stingy defense, even with rotating goalkeepers, Nicopolitis and freshman Romero splitting time, but the 4 in front of them have a good understanding of each goalkeeper. Georgetown does not change the way they play.
Outstanding driven ball by Montez, and a great first touch from Nealis, but it was read really well by Paxton Miller.
And Miller is one of those players that had an injury earlier in the year.
Nealis on his preferred right foot, near post ball, easily cleared by Sergei.
But Coach Fleming is thrilled to have Miller, redshirt junior, and Xavier does redshirt a lot of players.
Georgetown all the possession in the first 8 minutes of this match. Here's Montez. cutting left and finding Achara. Boy is patient on the left side. And in this 20 pass sequence for the Hoyas, every player on the field touching the ball except for Dotson. Montez and Achara, good triangle passing to free Zawadzki. Fortunate, but Nealis the beneficiary. Here's Dylan Nealis, one-on-one, loses track of the ball. Now Zawadzki, a left-footed drive from distance, easily saved by Rosenberg, but the Hoyas sharp here early.
They are, and we talked about two things. Key for Xavier, absorbing pressure. I think Xavier did a decent job during that passing sequence, but then for Georgetown, it's with purpose. And once Zawadzki was able to switch the ball, it did open up that Xavier defense, and ultimately Zawadzki with a good shot from distance.
And Tom, you see in our screen now there, Carson Henderlong, such an important part of this Xavier team as a freshman, and Henderlong's going to need to take advantage of probably what will be few opportunities in front of goal given Georgetown's possession advantage today.
Yeah, Henderlong has really done well. 5 goals on his freshman campaign. It's really the first time that Xavier in a while is playing with 2 up top. And they're both big target players. Sergi and Henderlong, both above 6 feet tall, good size, good physicality, but they're good with the ball at their feet. And obviously with 6 goals for Sergi and Henderlong with 5, those are the 2 players that Georgetown will have to focus on.
Dotson turns, finds Montez. Montez right-footed shot over. But you see the interchange between Dotson, Montez, and Achara. As those 3 find more minutes on the field together, it's improving on a game-by-game basis.
Yeah, and the one thing is Montez taking a look as he tried to bend that one to the far post. This year, Montez has found such dangerous pockets of space. And there again, 20 yards out, right in front of the Xavier defense, able to receive the ball, get his head up.
The 11th minute scoreless at Shaw Field. These Hoyas, Tom, have been dominant. 25 goals for and 5 against on the season so far.
Yeah, we talked about that stingy defense, and not only the 25 goals for, Georgetown is peppering the opposing team's goals with shots. On 4 or 5 games already this year, Georgetown credited over 20 shots in a game.
Long throw, won by Zawadzki. Now Georgetown will reset. Tom, this is Daniel Wu on the ball. A surprise winner of the center back position in preseason, the freshman from the Raleigh, North Carolina area, and Wu has been steady going most of the season in that center back as a partner to Rio Hope Gunn.
Yeah, they've really developed a good understanding in the center of the park together. Of course, Georgetown graduated the longtime center back pairing of Schropp. We take a good look at Coach Weiss in his 14th year.
I'm not sure that's a good look.
Well, it is. 14 years on the hilltop and has just had all sorts of success here.
And he certainly believes this is among his best teams on the hilltop and believes the ceiling very high. And as we said at the outset, it's the depth that really is the differentiator.
Yeah, and he even commented about that as a real important key to the victory over Maryland. He felt that the depth of Georgetown just wore down Maryland as the game went on.
Montez, great ball to Achara on his left foot, a shot. Oh, just wide. And there we see the runs off the ball, the knowledge of each other, and Achara nearly opened the scoring.
Yeah, and Achara will want that one back. It's not on his preferred right foot, but what a dynamic run into space. Really hard, tough angle, but didn't miss by much. And there, it's Montez again with time to get his head up. And when Achara makes that hard diagonal run, it is just so hard to deal with. And I think for Xavier, they're going to have to pressure the ball more, especially when Montez is receiving it in dangerous parts in the attacking third.
Georgetown on the proverbial front foot throughout the first 13 minutes. Here's Lochner. Good combination play with Dotson. He'll get it back to Derek, the junior from the Chicago area. Finds Lochner near the end line, pulls it back through several players. It's a shot. Great save by Rosenberg. Rebound out, it's a goal! It's Jacob Montez, 6th of the year, depositing the rebound of J.B. Fisher's shots, and the Hoyas a deserved 1-0 lead.
And what a start for the Hoyas here. 1 goal up, first team to score against Xavier in the first half. What a big-time save for Rosenberg, but Montez in the right spot deposits his 6th of the year for Georgetown.
Tom, the interchange, which we didn't pick up in the replay, between Lochner and Dotson on the right side of the field set all of that up, but the Hoyas asking a lot of questions of Matthew Rosenberg and the Xavier defense.
Yeah, and I actually thought Rosenberg did great to get a first touch on that service that that Lochner hit across. But then Xavier just did not get on the second ball, and look at this statistic. The Hoyas 8-0-0 when scoring first this season.
Hoyas 10-1-1 overall entering the match. Xavier 5-5-1.
And for Coach Fleming, one of the things that he really stressed when we talked to him yesterday was really absorbing that pressure and the possession of Georgetown and trying to keep the Hoyas off the scoreboard as long as they could in hopes of finding the first goal in the match, because Xavier doesn't want to chase the game. And 15 minutes in, the Hoyas unlocked his defense.
And Tom, there's a lot of impressive statistics about Georgetown's start to the year. One of the most interesting, the Hoyas have only trailed for 20 minutes on the season combined. And that 20 minutes was out in Westwood, California, conceding an early goal at UCLA before blitzing the Bruins with 5 afterwards.
Yeah, and it was an onslaught that afternoon in Los Angeles. Of course, highlighted by sophomore Zach Riviere's hat trick.
Sergei, a left-footed shot. He was offsides, but you see Sergei trying to find space in between the two defenders, his first touch of the afternoon.
And it was a good first touch for Sergei. Bring that one down off of his chest. And Hope Gund and Wu will have to have better communication to deal with that run. As you can see, Xavier trying to play direct up top to their big target player.
And Tom, you're a former all-conference striker in the Big East. What's it like for players like Sergei, players like Henderlong in a game like this where you're not going to get much service?
Yeah, it can be frustrating, but you have to just stay mentally focused and knowing that you might only get 1 or 2 chances for the day and you have to make it count, and it might only be a half of a chance. You'll see Sergei trying to find that pocket of space in between Wu and Hope Gund. And with his size, one of those chances could come on a restart, whether it's a corner kick. Xavier has a long throw with Bell.
It's alumni weekend here on campus at Georgetown University, celebrating the 25th anniversary of the Big East champions of 1994. A terrific turnout of alumni packing the Shaw Field stands.
Yeah, and that was really a historic team for Georgetown, the first team to win the Big East regular season championship, first team to qualify for the NCAA tournament, and in the last 25 years, this Hoyas program has simply become one of the best in the country.
Montez with space. Montez a drive, it's blocked. Good piece of defending there by Sean Wilson. Wilson, the all-everything Scholastic player.
Yeah, and that was better, and that is better for Wilson. He gets caused for a foul, but at least he's in Montez's back pocket and not allowing Montez to turn with his head up. Wilson, of course, transferred from North Carolina, where he was a member of their College Cup team. Highly decorated recruit out of high school.
It'll be Montez and O'Hearn conferring. It'll be Montez to hit the in-swinger. He does to the back post. Rosenberg stays on his line. Dotson heads harmlessly into his chest. But Montez put in a spot where Rosenberg had to make a decision. Dotson not heading the ball cleanly.
Yeah, and even though Dotson won the header, actually it was the physicality that didn't enable Dotson to get up and hit that one with much pace. Really a routine save for Rosenberg, who has probably seen more action than he would have liked in the first 18 minutes.
Achara tries to go for the nutmeg. They'll keep the legs just closed enough, but it'll be a throw-in for the Hoyas. And there's a look at the junior captain Derek Dotson, one of 3 captains alongside Achara and Dylan Nealis for this Hoya side that was picked to finish first in the conference. And as of now, sitting in second place, the Red Storm undefeated with a difficult fixture in Omaha against Creighton this evening.
And what a start to the year for Coach Mazur and St. John's. Best start since 1993.
Chara, good one-touch ball to Montez. He'll find Dotson. Layoff for Lochner. Ball squirts to Dotson. His shot's blocked. And then it's cleared by Bellavance. But this is all Georgetown so far. And Tom, it is interesting tactically for Fleming. You develop a game plan, you train it all week, and you kind of have to throw it out the window, conceding early in the match.
Yeah, I'm not sure he'll throw it completely out the window, knowing how much time is left. It's real important for Xavier to keep the scoreline at 1 goal for Georgetown, though.
Hoya's hungry. Well, Montez trying to find Lochner on a diagonal. It's good there from Henderlong to keep possession. Xavier just needs moments like this where they can get a hold of the ball for a few minutes.
Yeah, we hear it a lot from opposing coaches that you have to make Georgetown defend, and Coach Fleming thought that was going to be important, understanding that they're not going to have the majority of possession, but you can't give the ball away cheaply. You do have to make Georgetown defend.
20th minute at Shaw. Montez's 6th of the season. The difference is the Hoyas lead 1-0 and have been all over for Xavier from kickoff. Xavier working down the left side. Get to the end line. Nicopolitis off his line. Good communication between Nealis and Nicopolitis. Postseason tickets now available for 2 Big East Fall Championships presented by Jeep. For tickets to the Big East Women's Soccer Championship semifinals and finals in Omaha, November 7th and 10th, head to bigeast.com/WSOC tickets. And for tickets to the Big East Field Hockey Championships, hosted by Quinnipiac, November 8th and 10th, head to bigeast.com/FH tickets. Undoubtedly tickets for the men's tournament will be available in the next few weeks. As Wilson and Xavier possessing in the midfield and finding Bellavance on the right side. Weber to Bell. Good tackle from behind by Achara. Now it's Montez. Overlap coming from Fisher. And Montez clipped by Bellavance.
And that will earn your way into the referee's book as Montez just chopped down. Bellavance not even attempting to play the ball there as Xavier started to have a little bit of possession, and then Achara able to just disrupt that completely.
Montez slow to get up as we take a look at the problems that Montez, Achara, and Dotson are causing the Musketeers. As you take a look at a good crowd settling in. Series history time, Xavier, as we said, a lot more success against Brian Weiss and the Hoyas than most other programs in the conference.
Yeah, 3 of the last 4 meetings. We talked about all those in the regular season, but the one that really mattered, the 2017 Big East Final, Georgetown was able to win on an amazing free kick against Xavier.
O'Hearn hitting one of the back post over everybody as he was looking for either Nealis or Wu at the back post.
You wonder with that foul on Montez, he typically takes those restarts from that angle. O'Hearn called upon to hit that one.
Georgetown out shooting Xavier 7-0 already. And we haven't even hit the midway mark of the first half. And Tom, that for me, the biggest difference between this excellent Hoyas team and excellent Hoya teams over the last decade, their attacking commitment. As Montez springs Achara down the left side. Achara cuts into his right foot, but the touch got a little out ahead of him. And Cameron Bell and the Musketeers able to move forward.
Yeah, and the one problem for Bellavance being on a yellow card so early is you have to keep your feet against Achara.
Odom and Wilson combine.
And that is a hard ask for Bellavance to deal with, the pace of Achara being on a yellow card. And you talked about it's possession with purpose for this Georgetown team. They always were keeping possession under the Weiss era, but this squad is attacking at speed, and the quality in the final third has been as good as Coach Weiss has ever had.
Sergei to Bell, but Hope Gunn intercedes. And Tom, Hope Gunn, nothing flashy, but boy has he been sturdy throughout his junior season.
Yeah, been a rock in the center of the park. He's had a good understanding with Wu as Xavier tries to recover here.
Lochner, an educated ball, finds Achara. He'll cut inside, find Montez, a little half turn. Montez surrounded by 4 Musketeers. And then a shoulder charge from Lochner whistled as he fouled Wilson.
And you can see Xavier doing better when Montez is now getting the ball, getting numbers. You get a good look at head referee Mark Lawrence, but Xavier is getting numbers around the ball now when Montez has it. Early in the match, he had too much time and space to play.
Wilson, directional header, finds Sergei. Peyton Miller keeps possession. They work the ball back to Webert again. Webert, the freshman from Maryland. An important piece to this Xavier defense.
And Webert with great size. As the season has gone on, he's really earned the trust of Coach Fleming at Xavier, finding a home in the center of the park. And of course, he plays alongside Taylor Kroll, who we haven't mentioned, but he was an all-freshman team performer for Xavier last year, a very decorated defensive player for Xavier.
Tom expected midway through the first half, Lee starts that cavalcade of substitutions, and it'll be Polvera entering for Fisher and Riviere, who Sasha Sarovsky at Maryland still having nightmares about after his dynamic run in the midfield led to Georgetown's winning goal on Monday night.
Yeah, Riviere is an incredible spark plug off the bench, a free kick specialist as well, and you mentioned that electrifying run against Maryland, a good 45 or 50 yards, skill, pace, and then a beautiful ball to Rothrock that led to Dotson's game winner.
For Nealis in the midfield. There you see the pace of Dylan Nealis. Into the teeth of the Xavier defense, squirts to Achara. He's on his left foot again, back heel looking for Nealis. And cleared, but the athleticism of Dylan Nealis, the right back, is extraordinary. Ball squirts to Dotson. He has runners. Rosenberg punches away. And collected by Xavier, who will work out through the midfield through Odom and Peyton Miller. Now it's Sean Wilson.
And for Xavier right now to they need to get their foot on the ball, and really it comes down to the number 6, Sean Wilson, and Derek Odom, who really has not seen any of the ball for Xavier.
Interception by Polvera. Montez back to Polvera. Dotson's onside. He'll keep it in play. Now Riviere on his preferred left foot. Shot just wide. Squirted past Rosenberg. And the Hoyas continue to buzz around the Musketeer box.
Yeah, Xavier defensively does not have any answers right now for this Hoya attack. And what a quick release by Riviere. And Achara, he was anticipating Rosenberg getting a touch there, but if he continued the run, probably would have had a tap in. And Achara, good 23 minutes, 26 minutes of action for the senior.
He's replaced by a freshman, Will Sands. Sands, as the season's worn on, earning more minutes and making more stuff happen, typically as a left-sided midfielder.
Yeah, great pace. He dealt with an injury early in the year, Sands, but again, he is added to the depth of this Georgetown team.
Good touch by Odom past Zawadzki. Now Miller on the left side, headed away by Wu.
And there you do see the quality of Odom, and really for Xavier, he needs to see more of the ball.
Wilson, now Weber. Elevance. Polvera, the second time, steps in front of Odom. Wilson picks up the loose ball. And then a silly foul there gives Xavier a restart 25 yards from Giannis Nikopolidis' goal.
And Dan, if you want to get yourself back into the game, if you're Xavier, it is taking advantage of restarts in the attacking third. This one a dangerous area, and I agree. An unnecessary foul from Dante Polvera, the freshman, as he had covering defenders for Georgetown there, but Xavier with a big opportunity here.
And it'll be Goodall joining Derek Odom on the ball. Xavier will have 6 players lurking near the back post, and Georgetown holds their line at the penalty area. It's Goodall to take. Does not bother Nikopolidis with that shot, but it is the first shot of the match for the Musketeers.
Yeah, fairly routine save for Nikopolidis, and with the size that Xavier has at that back post, I know it is shooting distance, but I think Xavier would want to probably try to kind of play that one to the far post and see if Sergi and Kroll and those guys can go up and get one.
Nealis looking for Dotson. Good bit of defending there from Kroll. But Dotson, Montez, Achara, Georgetown's dynamic attacking players as advertised here in the first 29 minutes of this match.
Yeah, and the depth of Georgetown. Xavier yet to make a substitution. Coach Weiss has already gone to his bench, replacing 3 players.
O'Hearn looping ball. Dotson's onside. Good pirouette away from Weber. Montez sees O'Hearn on the overlap. Sean on his preferred right foot now. Good job finding Sands. Early left-footed ball headed just wide. Riviere, a clean header, knotted wide.
And I think that one caught the post, Dan. I think Riviere finds himself in a great pocket of space. Xavier losing their marks.
Absolutely call that a post. And Tommy, there you see the quality of Will Sands and the education of that left foot as he finds Riviere.
And Riviere listed at 5'6", and with the size that Xavier has, it's just not close enough to the attacking players in the box.
Tom, for the second consecutive match in the substitution pattern, Weiss is going to send Paul Rothrock into sort of a false striker position as he replaced Dotson. Jack Beer also coming in. So as has often been the case, 5 of the 6 Georgetown attacking players already substituted with still 15 minutes remaining. Nealis, an incredible first touch, and the referee declines the penalty kick opportunity. It was O'Hearn finding Nealis on a dead run, and Nealis forlorn as he thought he was fouled.
Yeah, what a great touch, and there was a lot of contact. Cameron Bell fortunate not to be called for a penalty kick there, as Nealis with a brilliant touch getting to the end line.
It's Riviere to hit the in-swinger with his left foot. Approaching 14 minutes remaining at Shaw Field. Montez, his goal as the Hoyas up 1-0. And that one looked better on the training ground than it did right there, the short corner. Easily played out for a Georgetown throw. But Tom, there you see so much of what Georgetown wants to do on that last exchange. They have outside backs that can hit that 70-yard diagonal ball, and then the quality of Nealis to get there.
Well, and it's just the pressure that Nealis puts on opposing defenses. You need outside midfielders tracking back, good communication, and really for Xavier, who is known for great defensive shape, you really have to stay organized, as Xavier likes to compact the space, but Georgetown hits those long balls and really spreads out the defense.
Tom, we have all 21 players in the 1/3 of the field right now. Nikopolidis the only one not, as Riviere hits another corner, this time into the middle of the box, easily grabbed by Rosenberg. as Xavier pulled it too close to the Xavier goalkeeper.
And Rosenberg has good command of his box. He's had to come out, and he's dealt with some dangerous crosses, gotten some good touches in there. In a crowd, goes up, no problem dealing with that corner kick.
Wu wins the header, and then Goodall back down the Georgetown end. Bell now playing on the left side as he and Miller have exchanged sides. He'll go against Riviere. Bell trying to win a corner, and cannot. It'll be a goal kick.
And Bell gets moved over to the left side because Fleming went to his bench for the first time, and it's the redshirt freshman Jacob Burnson out of the fantastic Scott Gallagher Academy in St. Louis, who replaced Bellavance at right back.
Andy Fleming's done a good job in those Midwest academies recruiting, in particular the Indiana Fire, who've been a huge feeder system to this Xavier team.
Indiana Fire, Scott Gallagher. Obviously, Rosenberg played at the Red Bull Academy, and Xavier had the 7th rated recruiting class this year coming in.
There's Rothrock getting to the end line against Goodall, and he'll win a corner. Actually, it says double deflection. My apologies, and so it will be a goal kick. And Tom, there's a little Jack the Bulldog.
Jack the Bulldog sighting at Shaw Field, enjoying this fall afternoon.
Jack all over campus here today. Multiple events, including the Georgetown football team playing right now up 14-10 at halftime over the Lafayette Leopards. O'Hearn, turnover to Miller. That was Jacob Burnson, who just entered the match. Burnson now playing at the right side of defense, plays Bellavance. Bell commits another foul, this time on Nealis. And Tom, the scoreboard says 1-0. In the advanced analytics, the expected goals metric, Georgetown would have more than that so far, and I think Weiss and the staff would love to get a second before the half.
Oh, for sure, especially when you think of how dangerous the attacking strikers are for Xavier. Sergi, 6 goals, Henderlong 5. And it's the long throws and the restarts that Xavier can get back in this game. And for Georgetown, peppering the cage, but really important to find that second goal.
That's not him.
Big East soccer action presented by SoFi here. The Hoyas 3-0-1 in the conference. The Musketeers 1-3. The 2 top teams in the conference will meet next weekend as the Hoyas will visit St. John's.
Yeah, and you talk about Xavier 1-3. They've qualified for 6 straight conference tournaments. And while they're only 1-3, they're really only 1 game out of 3rd place right now, as a whole bunch of teams in the conference kind of between 3 and 6 points.
Wolf Sands, good defensive pressure on Miller, forcing him backwards to Kroll. Substitution coming in, it'll be Connor Haskell. Haskell, the redshirt freshman from Medfield, Massachusetts. As you said, Tom, Fleming, a fan of the red shirts. 18 of the players on the team listed as red shirts.
Yeah, and this year with some of the injuries, their top freshman recruit, Oliver Edvardsen, elect to sign a professional contract right before school started this year. So Fleming doesn't have the depth that he typically has, and he hasn't been able to redshirt some of the freshmen, has really, had to work some guys into the lineup earlier than he would have liked.
Burnson keeps it in play. Good defending from the Hoyas. Great skill from Polvera to free Sands. Those 2 youth academy teammates launched the Hoya attack forward. Now Jack Beer sending Rothrock on a dead sprint. Paul does well to keep it in play, but Xavier to clear. Tom, we profiled Samson Sergi at the beginning. Sergi just not able to find the match right now.
Yeah, really only 1 touch, and he was offsides on that touch completely. And some of that, a lot of that has to do with the possession that Georgetown has had. Xavier just not seeing enough of the ball.
Burnson against Sands. Sands will win it. And a poor ball by Will Sands, cut out by Henderlong. Odom finds Bell in a pocket of space. A little better here from Xavier. Burnson's been a steadying influence. First time ball looking for Haskell. O'Hearn wins it, but it'll be a deep throw in for Xavier.
Yeah, and Cameron Bell will come over and take this, a long throw. Xavier causes problems, and it's really on the second ball Xavier gets onto. A lot of action, movement, looking for Sergi to flick one on.
Ball dead middle, and Sergi doesn't flick one on. He tries to get it to goal. It's over Nicopolitis, but there you see the kind of moment that Xavier's going to have to take advantage of if they're going to get back in this match.
Yes, and Sergi just posted up there. And Nealis is a great athlete defensively, but the size of Sergi, the strength goes up there. Halfway decent chance for him, and that's it. It just takes one of those for a decorated striker. Doesn't need to see a lot of the ball, but take that half of a chance.
Bell wins the header to Henderlong. Xavier a little calmer here in the last 3 or 4 minutes. Approaching 6 minutes remaining in the first half. Jacob Montes' 6th goal of the year is still the difference, as he took the rebound of a J.B. Fisher shot and easily beat Rosenberg from 4 yards away.
Yeah, and as this half has gone on, the pace has certainly slowed down, and that has helped Xavier kind of work their way into the game a little bit.
Riviera speed advantage against Goodall. He and Rothrock combine. Now the Hoyas possess patiently with Nealis. Nealis a diagonal ball to Rothrock. Rothrock into the box, and Sands has made his run too far into the box. O'Hearn collects. Dangerous ball to the back post, looking for Rothrock. Headed across the face. And Burnson eventually gets it and clears for Xavier.
Take a look. The Butler Bulldogs up 1-0 against Seton Hall. And then Marquette and Villanova scoreless in the first half. Action going on all over the country, the Big East scoreboard.
Both of those games, action in the middle of the table. Important seeding implications in both those matches. And as you said, Tom, important here as well. Fortunate deflection off of Zawadzki's chest allows the Hoyas to emerge down the right side. So we go under 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Good turn from Wilson. His ball easily read by O'Hearn, and the Hoyas are on a jailbreak. O'Hearn to the middle. He has Beer to his left. First time ball. And it's cleared easily, and the Hoyas will want to do that one differently. When they see that on video, the Hoyas a 4-on-3 advantage, not resulting in a shot on goal.
Yeah, and it was a fantastic defensive play by O'Hearn.
Here's Will Sands. Great footwork by Sands. But neither Polvera or Riviere could get on the end of it. But there you see the quality of the freshman. And Sands, out of the NYCFC Academy, Sands' twin brother, James, a starter for most of this year for the full side at NYCFC, as they earn the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference. They'll have the weekend off.
And there were some great backyard battles between the two brothers growing up. Quality from the Sands family. And Dan is
multiple great soccer-playing New York families represented here. The Nealis family, of course. Dylan, the third in line. Dylan's brother Sean also playing in the MLS playoffs. He'll play for the Red Bull tomorrow as they visit the Philadelphia Union. And older brother Jimmy, one of the alumni, in attendance here today on the Hilltop. Here's Taylor Kroll trying to keep possession. Xavier Bell emerges with the ball. Goodall will cut inside on his preferred left foot. Good ball finds Bell. He's onside at the corner flag. Harmless cross. Wu wins it. Now the Hoyas will counter. It's Jack Beer. Rothrock wants the ball on a dead sprint. Kroll read it easily, though.
Yeah, and for Jack Beer, you have to have more patience there. As Xavier, while they sent 5 or 6 guys forward, just good discipline in the back line. Really easy to clean up that counterattack from Georgetown.
Riviere finds Rothrock. Rothrock, hard ball to Polvera. He'll collect it near the edge of the penalty area. Polvera to the end line against Burnson. He'll win a corner. And the Hoyas, with 2 minutes remaining in the first half, will take a corner. It'll be Jack Beer to hit this one. And Will Sands will exit after a good 18-minute shift, replaced by Riley Strassner, the senior from Connecticut.
Strassner, good size, coming in late, right on a corner kick as well.
It's Beer to hit it with his right foot, the in-swinger. Looping ball into the middle of the box. Burnson got to it first. Back across the face by O'Hearn, and the Hoyas will win another corner with 90 seconds remaining. Their 5th of the opening half. Riviere will saunter over to the Shaw Field corner flag. The sophomore who's been excellent throughout the season, playing either wide position in the attack. Looping ball, Rosenberg, miscommunication with Kroll. Kroll heads it away, and Georgetown will do it again.
Yeah, Rosenberg had started to come to get that one, but good defensive header for Xavier.
Please make sure to join us at halftime. And Strassner gets to the loose ball. Riviere can't keep it in play. It'll be a goal kick at halftime. A great feature. Megan Caffrey and John Fanta will be reviewing all the Big East Fall sports action for you. And here in Washington, D.C., it's Georgetown 1-0 on the 14th minute marker by Jacob Montez, his 6th of the season, as his Midfielder of the Year campaign mounts an offensive.
And for Xavier, I think if they can get to halftime 1-0, they would have gladly taken that, considering how well Georgetown was playing at the start of this match.
And they will earn that. And we will earn a quick trip to be recognized at halftime alongside the rest of the 1994 Georgetown soccer squad. So 1-0 the score. Montez the goal scorer. And John Fanta and Megan Caffrey will join us shortly with a recap of the fall season thus far.
Welcome into another Big East Fall Sports Update. John Fanta and Megan Caffrey with you here. We are right in the thick of fall sports. Men's soccer is in full swing, volleyball, and women's soccer just hit the halfway point of conference play. However, John, let's start with volleyball. We were talking about this Creighton-Marquette matchup last week. What surprised you in this?
The Blue Jays taking it from Marquette 3-2. You think about the Golden Eagles and just how good they've been. On the other side, what we saw was a Creighton program that is the 5-time reigning Big East champions, and they went to Milwaukee and made a huge statement. Defense stood out in the win. They came up with 7 blocks in the opening set of that win over Marquette, and Naomi Hickman was huge. Kirsten Bernthal Booth, Creighton head coach, said that she talked to Hickman before the match about putting those blocks away. The Blue Jays were tremendous defensively. We know what Allie Barber and a loaded Marquette attack has done across the country. But on this night in Milwaukee, Creighton makes a statement. And for the Blue Jays to do that at the Al McGuire Center, I got to say, that really stands out.
And a large part of that also, John, has to do with not only the Big East Freshman of the Week, but also the Big East Offensive Player of the Week. And, well, Keely Davis is having herself a week because she was also named the National Player of the Week, and I had a one-on-one with her and spoke about all of her success.
We now welcome in the Big East Freshman and Offensive Player of the Week, Creighton's Keely Davis. Keely, your team is on an 8-game streak, most recently beating the then 10th ranked Marquette Golden Eagles. As this matchup with Marquette has really turned into a rivalry over the years, where would you rank the win over Marquette in this 8-game win streak?
I would say it's one of the top wins for us because I think although we've been focusing like one game at a time, it was the biggest match for us, and we were pretty prepared and staying fun and focused, so that was the main aspect of it.
You yourself had a career-high 31 kills against Marquette. At what point did you realize you were really on?
Not until we took a timeout and I looked at the scoreboard and I was like, oh, okay, like 31 or like 27 or whatever. But I was surprised because I didn't know what was going on because our team was doing so well and I couldn't have done it without the players. So.
Keely, you're a redshirt freshman this year, so you've been around the program. How did last year really help you in your development?
I had a lot of great leaders, especially Tara and Jaylee, just because they were in my spot. So I really looked up to them, and I worked my butt off and made the team better. So I think that was one of the good aspects of redshirting.
How would you describe the personality of this year's Creighton volleyball?
We're crazy, not crazy, like crazy bad, but we're crazy good. There's a lot of laughter on the team, and like I said, we're fun and or the main aspect is fun and focus. So that's what we're striving to do every game. So and practice.
One of the reasons you said that you chose Creighton is because of its atmosphere. How would you describe the atmosphere specifically at DJ Sokol Arena?
It is crazy loud, but I just love all the support and fans that we get. So it's super exciting.
Keely, thank you so much for your time and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
It's just been incredible to watch what Creighton is doing with their volleyball. As we now turn to men's soccer, however, John, there are 2 heavyweights right at the top, St. John's and Georgetown. They've been really dominant this whole season.
It's incredible what St. John's has been able to do, 4-0 in the Big East. And instead of that moment where they might have a hiccup, it seemingly means that they keep picking up steam. Dr. Dave Mazur has offensive options. We've talked about that. And then you've got the Georgetown Hoyas, who showed that what they're doing in the Big East, well, it got validated because in a national showdown on FS1 with the reigning national champions, the Maryland Terrapins, Derek Dotson delivered, and the Hoyas, who are also complex to defend because they've got several different clutch performers who can finish. They pull it off over Maryland in 1-0 fashion. So everything is aligning for a Georgetown-St. John's showdown in late October, but these 2 teams at the top of the standings, and after those 2, there's a lot to still figure out in opportunity knocks.
It is going to be an exciting finish there, but we have plenty of conference play
Yeah.
to be played. And you can check out all of the action this weekend on the Big East Digital Network. Women's volleyball and then women's and men's soccer as well. For John Fanta, I'm Megan Caffrey. Thank you so much for tuning in.
It's halftime here in Washington, D.C. The Hoyas and the Xavier Musketeers. Let's take a look, Tom Greaser, at this week's Big East Players of the Week. It starts with Duarte and Achara.
Achara has exploded back onto the scene for the Hoyas. 3 goals and an assist in his 4 games, and Duarte cements that stingy St. John's defense.
Hoyas goalkeeper Nick Kapolitis with 2 shutouts, and Esben Wolf, the Providence Friars freshman. Tom, has been great.
Yeah, had a golden goal against UConn, really playing well for the Friars.
The depth of the conference is revealed as we look at all 5 members of the honor roll,
including Matthew Rosenberg, who we're seeing here today playing against the Hoyas.
So it was a great first half of action here at Shaw Field. The second half live coming up next from Washington, D.C., the Hoyas and the Musketeers. Dan Helfrich and Tom Greaser back with you on the Big East Digital Network. Big East Soccer presented by SoFi. The Hoyas lead 1-0 in a match they thoroughly dominated from the beginning. And Tom, the score sheet says that.
Yeah, 9 shots, 4 of them on goal, 5 corners to 0 for Xavier, and it was Jacob Montez being the first goal against Xavier in the first half all season long.
And the Montez goal off a great interchange. The ball ended up squirting to Fisher. His left-footed shot blocked, but Montez made no mistake from about 5 yards out.
Yeah, Rosenberg made a good save there, but the rebound Montez able to put by him very easily.
And so, Tom, take us inside the Xavier locker room. Andy Fleming, his team down 1-0, his team being dominated in possession, in chances created.
They were here last year. They were down 1-0 to Georgetown, had a fantastic second half, a stirring come-from-behind victory for Xavier 3-2, reminding them that they've been here and have had success on this field.
Hope Gunn finds Montez. As Zawatsky heads into the path of Dylan Nealis. Now Polvera. Polvera, a little L turn, but easily cut out by Odom. A little too cute there from the freshman Dante Polvera. Here's Rosenberg. Token pressure applied by Dotson.
Yeah, it's token, but it is high pressure. Xavier does well to get out of it.
One of the first touches for Henderlong of the match. As Goodall and Bell battle for it, and Bell got his right forearm into the chest of Nealis, whistled for a foul.
And I think that was also a message from Coach Fleming at halftime. This Xavier team prides themselves in being a physical side. And there you can see early on Bell getting in hard on Nealis a couple minutes into this half.
Bells, who's committed 3 or 4 fouls already this afternoon, but has not found his way into the referee's notebook. The only caution of the match so far to Ryan Bellavance. Well won by Chase Weber. And then cleared. Looking for Sergei, but the foul whistled.
Good pull of the jersey. And there's a good look of Samson Sergei. Senior attack, second in the conference in goals. We highlighted him at the top of the broadcast. Has not seen much service at this point, though.
But he does earn a free kick there, and he earns Hope Gund into the book. And you could see you could hear the Georgetown staff very frustrated with that decision by Hope Gund.
Yeah, we talk about the great size, and Sergei did get a good knock from Hope Gund there. It's just Hope Gund going right through his back. Really no reason to do that. And what it allows Xavier to do is it allows Kroll to come forward. It allows Sergei to get into a good attacking spot. And we talked about for Xavier to get themselves back in this match, a restart or a long throw-in could do it.
It'll be Goodall to hit with his left foot. Jacob Goodall to the back post. Nicopolitis off his line, a scoop save. He hesitated for a moment in no man's land, and Nicopolitis fortunate to evade a Xavier attack, and then Miller's cross out of bounds for a goal kick.
Yeah, and you can see that ball just in the perfect spot for Xavier as we take a look at Achara, who we highlighted at the top of the broadcast. His 5th game back, 3 goals and an assist, and early in the match he gave Xavier all sorts of fits. But Nicopolitis, uncertain about whether to come or go, but you can see how dangerous Xavier is on wide restarts. They've got 3 or 4 good target players that they're looking for.
Here is the player to watch, Achara into the feet of Dotson. Now Montez springs Nealis down the right side. With a head of steam, it's Dylan Nealis. Nealis working to the end line around Bell. His service off the crossbar, but the Referee said it bent outside before it hit the crossbar, and so it will be a goal kick. Let's take one more look at that restart, Tom. Nick Ippolita's fortunate that as it hit his knee and his hand, the ball squirted to Polvera and not a Musketeer.
And it looked like Henderlong got a piece of that one. And there, Nealis gets an elbow up high in the back of Bell and whistled for another foul in the attacking half. Xavier won't elect to bring Kroll forward for this one, though. In the first 5 minutes as Coach Fleming, he probably likes the fight of his team in the first 5 minutes and what he saw in the entire first half. Xavier wins a couple of restarts, gets in on some hard challenges, and outfighting Georgetown is always a key for Coach Fleming and having some of the success that his team has had.
A more patient Musketeer attack. Georgetown attacked in waves in the first half, and here's a counter. It's Sean Zawadzki, the sophomore from Ohio. Zawadzki against Bell. Zawadzki not a one-on-one player, and the double team from Kroll easily able to dispossess the Georgetown midfielder.
Yeah, Zawadzki covers so much ground in that defensive midfield position for Georgetown.
Montez back to Nealis. Those two in tight space on Georgetown's left side. A whistle, a foul as Sean Wilson got a piece of the ankle of Montez, much to the displeasure of Andy Fleming. Riviere's first touch of the second half. Bell does well. Good all. Clearance won by Montez, the junior from the Timbers Academy, to the end line. And good bit of physicality there from Cameron Bell, who's the sturdiest Musketeer in the midfield, and wins a goal kick.
Yeah, Montez trying to get to the end line, and you're exactly right. It's that physicality, and Coach Fleming going to be much happier so far with the effort as Bell doesn't allow Montez to turn the corner in the first half. It seemed the first 15 minutes of that half, Georgetown was getting to the end line at will.
Zawadzki rises above to win a header. Now Nealis above over Sergi. What a header by Dylan Nealis. Patrick Ewing might have been impressed with that effort by the senior. Montez to Dotson. He chests down. He's onside. Dotson, early ball. Kroll able to clear as he was looking for Riviere. And a poor touch from Nealis allows Xavier to calm things down for a bit, but
And that there were better runs in the box for Dotson as Dotson was able to bring that one down. He had a good near post run from Riviere, and Achara was lurking behind him as well.
Weber and Odom combined. Now Wilson. For Xavier to get back in this match in the flow, Odom and Wilson are going to have to see more of the ball as they did there. Good ball by Miller, just by the outstretched right foot of Samson Sergi.
And Dan, there it is again. We talked about not a lot of service for Sergi, but very quickly Xavier can counter, and they're looking for him in those deep runs in the center of the park.
It's just what I was talking about. It's a few pass interchange between Odom and Wilson, and then you get a guy like Peyton Miller down the right side with space. Things are going to happen.
Yeah, the quality of Odom and Miller in the center of the park is really, and Wilson is really important for Xavier. They did not see much of the ball in the first half.
Chara against Burnson. He'll pull back and find Zawadzki. Now Nealis, who's been active early in the second. We're in the 53rd minute. Jacob Montez, 14th minute goal, the difference. Here is Montez. And now the boys recirculate through Hope Gund. Dangerous but successful dribbling maneuver by Hope Gund. Zawadzki into the feet of Dotson. First time shot not hit well. Rosenberg saves.
Dotson, that one popped up on him at the top of the box, so Rosenberg, no difficulty with that save. Rosenberg finds himself at the top of the league leaders in saves. That's a good and bad problem. You like that your goalkeeper makes a lot of saves, but for Xavier, you'd like to have less action in front of him.
That's not going to change based on today's afternoon. 5 saves already for Rosenberg. Zawadski in front of Henderlong. Freshman Chase Weber coming back to the Mid-Atlantic area where he grew up, Georgetown, Maryland.
And there is better tempo from Xavier in the first 10 minutes of this second half.
Polvera, who's been quiet today, the freshman.
And I felt in the first half for long stretches, it was almost as if Xavier was kind of giving Georgetown too much time and space, kind of giving them too much respect on the ball. And here in the second half, Xavier closing the ball quicker. And what that is allowing them to do, they're winning possession in more dangerous spots, and Sergi is able to make more dangerous runs and look to get more service up top.
Montez to Achara, great first touch into space against Burnson. He'll hit an early left-footed ball looking for Dotson. And it's cleared away by Kroll. Falls to Polvera 20 yards from goal. Now Montez. Achara, looping ball over everyone and goal kick. But the Hoyas starting to regain a little bit of the attacking rhythm and flair that we witnessed in the first 20 minutes of this match. For the first time in the second half, Brian Weiss will go to his highly acclaimed bench. It'll be J.B. Fisher, the senior, and Paul Rothrock, the junior transfer from Notre Dame, to enter, replacing Riviere and Polvera.
Yeah, and of course, Fisher with the start today, but in the second half, he enters 10 minutes in. And with all of the depth that Georgetown has, one of the problems with it is allowing guys to get into a good enough rhythm in the course of the game. You know, that was a 10-minute spell at the start of the half for Riviere and Polvera.
Rothrock leads the Hoyas in assists with 7, including the game-winning assist at Maryland on Monday in that 1-0 Georgetown win.
Certainly that's a big win for the Hoyas, but it's also a big win for the conference. The Big East as a conference find themselves as the number 2 rated RPI league in all of the country. It has had a lot of success out of conference this year.
To Odom. He's got a chance on his left foot shot. Parried away. Rebound by Goodall. Screamed over Nicopolitis. As the first major attack in the run of play, Nicopolitis wards off the shot from Odom. The rebound not directed on net.
Yeah, the quality of the senior midfielder, Derek Odom, gets behind Nealis and then hits it well. Nicopolitis well positioned at the near post, strong hands. But Odom has the potential to be a difference maker for this Xavier squad.
Georgetown has not conceded in the last 430 minutes of play. Xavier nearly ended that impressive streak. O'Hearn header finds Rothrock. He'll cut inside. And he's fouled by Burnson. And Georgetown will have a restart 30 yards from goal. Jacob Burnson didn't love the call. Rothrock played some soccer with the Seattle Sounders Academy system. Found his way to South Bend, Indiana before transferring to Georgetown for this, his junior season.
And what a revelation he's been. Quality in the final third, you referenced, leads the team in assists. And that final ball has been so good for Rothrock all year.
Tom, not a great angle here. We'll see what the Hoyas do. They'll look to the back post to Nealis, but Kroll easily able to get in front of it. And now Henderlong, his pass intercepted by Zawadski. Thought he was going to get into a tackle there with Odom, and so he'll clear over everyone near the gathering of a couple dozen students behind Xavier goalkeeper Matthew Rosenberg. Rosenberg from Manalapan, New Jersey. we said in the first half, from the Red Bull Academy program. Some of the locals pronounce it Manalapan. Here's Kroll. Now to Goodall. Goodall, who's been more active in the second half. Approaching the 60th minute, where Jacob Montes' first half goal continues to be the difference. In a first half dominated by the Hoyas, the second half more of an even affair.
Yeah, slight edge to Xavier in the second half. Think about some of the chances they've had. And there, Georgetown's back line was confident there was going to be an offsides call, but really don't want to slow down until that call is made, as Sergi was continuing the run.
And you see, as you look at the face of Georgetown assistant Connor Klokota there, the intensity on the Georgetown bench, the anxiety rising as Rothrock finds the ball near the corner flag.
Well, and I think that the coaches sense that Xavier is fighting much harder here in the second half, dictating more of the play.
O'Hearn to his right foot. Now Nealis. Deflected cross. Rosenberg able to get it as Cameron Bell, who's been battling Nealis throughout much of the afternoon, took some of the steam off that right-footed service.
Yeah, and allowed for a routine save for Rosenberg, who's been impressive to me, controlling that box. Even on the goal that he conceded, he actually did well on the first service, got a good hand on it. Then on the first rebound, he actually made a great save.
Miller to Henderlong. Will be isolated. Find Miller. Miller gets by Fisher. Miller service. Wu was in the right place. Unfortunate that Odom didn't deal with that better, as Achara with a head of steam. Achara thought he was fouled, but it was just kind of incidental contact with Chase Weber. And referee Mark Lawrence allows play to resume. That not so incidental, as the foul whistled there on Carson Henderlong.
Yeah, the freshman Henderlong with 5 goals, and here we take a look as Achara starts to burst out. Good no call there for Achara, as although Weber went to the ground, didn't get a piece of Achara.
Achara, this time against Weber. Now Zawatsky picks up an errant ball from Bell, finds Dotson. Overlap coming from Nealis, he'll get it. Cross, and it's blocked out by Kroll, as the Hoyas would have loved to have gotten a dangerous chance there.
And it was Sean Zawatsky intercepting that ball, which allows Nealis to get around the end of it. And what a dangerous ball in the box. And Xavier, fortunate that that wasn't an own goal. And that's one of the things, when you cause that back line to face their own goal, it's so hard to defend those hard crosses.
Paul Rothrock, Georgetown's leading assist man. He'll hit the outswinger. Dead center of the box. Hope Gunn rises above, but can't direct it down on frame. And another Hoya chance goes wanting.
And I think for Xavier, the longer this game stays 1-0, the better they'll feel about it. Try to get a restart, a long throw from Bell to find that equalizer.
Fisher, he and Rothrock combined. Now it's Dotson, cutting inside to his preferred right foot. Now wide to Rothrock. Early service. Sure-footed Kroll clears. And then Fisher fouled by Odom.
And Odom checking on Fisher there. Just the boot got up high on Fisher. Good sportsmanship, though, from the senior Odom. Shaking Fisher's hand after that foul.
It'll be Rothrock and Montez. Rothrock to hit back post, looking for Nealis. Can't keep it in play, and then lands hard there. And the collective air out of the crowd at Shaw Field as Dylan Nealis landed very hard. Remember, postseason tickets now available for both women's soccer and field hockey. The semifinals and finals for soccer in Omaha, Nebraska. The semis and finals of field hockey at Quinnipiac in Connecticut. As we near the postseason in the Big East Conference. Here's Montez finding Achara.
And of course, men's soccer played on campus sites. Higher seeds getting home games.
Good footwork from Fisher. Now Dotson, right-footed shot, just wide of Rosenberg.
As Georgetown's junior striker Derek Dotson finds some space at the top of the box. Looking to bend one into the post here, as you're right, is a good run for Fisher. Dotson just peels away, doesn't miss by much. That's really good understanding from Dotson. A lot of times strikers want to continue to run forward, but when you see the defense backing up, Dotson just holds that run up and has 3 yards of space in front of him.
Great skill from Sean O'Hearn to spring the Hoyas. It's Montez out wide to Nealis. Early ball from Nealis. Goodall deflects, and it'll be a corner yet again for the Hoyas, and you wonder if Dylan Nealis maybe takes a touch and continues that run.
Yeah, I think Nealis hits a great ball first time, but there I think a big first touch gets them to the end line, allows several more runners to get into the box for Georgetown.
So it is Rothrock to hit the outswinger. Weiss directing the Hoyas to get closer to Rosenberg. Headed down, cleared by Odom. Chara wins it back. Now Rothrock again, this time to the back post where he'll find O'Hearn. Headed across the face and over by Hope Gund. And it's a goal kick. The Hoyas buzzing around Rosenberg's goal.
Achara did well on that first one, and then when the ball gets recycled, O'Hearn does great to head this one back across the box. And Hope Gunn has to get on top of that. Good physical challenge, though, again for Xavier, similar to the one on Dotson in the first half. While Georgetown wins the header, they have someone right on their body.
Nealis finds Montez. Georgetown out shooting the Musketeers 14-4 in the 66th minute of play, but only one of those has found its way behind Matthew Rosenberg. That was a 14th minute tap in from Jacob Montez. There's Hope Gunn, now to Dotson, layoff to Achara. Nigerian senior with pace to Rothrock, and then Burnson a clean tackle.
And it's a hard tackle, and certainly in the second half, Xavier getting stuck in much more than they did in the first half.
Showing some studs, but got the ball first. Sawatsky, who's been clean this afternoon in the midfield. Sawatsky's quality allows their attacking players the freedom to do what they do. Meanwhile, Xavier down the right side. Dangerous ball squirts to Goodall, and it's cleared by Nealis with a sliding attempt.
And that's Xavier's best attack in the run of play, and it was the freshman Henderlong peeling away in a tight space. Allowed Sergi to get to the end line, and some desperate defending from Nealis and the Hoyas back line.
But there you saw Jacob Goodall, the left back, finding his way deep into the penalty area. A sign of the tactical freedom Fleming giving his players to take a more advanced position to try to find the equalizer. Nealis and Bell battle for the umpteenth time today.
Yeah, and although Bell gets whistled for the foul there, I think the coaches for Xavier are fine with that. He kind of set the tone in the first minute of the second half. He got in on a challenge, got called for a foul, but this Xavier team has responded well.
Dotson picks up a poor header. Georgetown will reset the attack. Fisher looking for Montez. He'll find him. I think Montez was surprised that got over Goodall.
Yeah, Montez making a good run. Of course, the goal scorer earlier kind of got caught between if he was going to head that one, bring it down, elects to hit it first time. Kind of wrong-footed himself a little bit as that ball did get over Goodall.
It's been a good second half from J.B. Fisher since he re-entered, replacing Dante Polvera. And Chara's going to get a breather in favor of Jack Beer. Here is Beer, finding Montez on a run. Montez top of the box, finds Beer, back to his left foot. Curling shot wide of Rosenberg. Beer, one of the more two-footed Georgetown attackers.
Yeah, skillful attacking player. A Cruyff turn frees up some space, but that all started because Montez found another pocket. In the first half when the Hoyas were on that front foot, it was the junior Montez who was around the ball a lot, and I think Xavier's done a much better job here in the second half, limiting the chances that Montez has.
Offside whistled on the far side of Shaw Field. We tick down to 20 minutes remaining in this match. Big East Soccer presented by SoFi. Georgetown trying to move to 4-0-1 in the conference season. Xavier trying to avoid falling to 1-4.
Yeah, crucial points at stake for both teams. Of course, the Hoyas trying to keep pace with St. John's, who's unblemished in the conference.
Goodall and Bell can't connect. That'll allow Nealis to find the ball, and he'll escort it out of bounds for a goal kick.
And Xavier desperate for any points as they try to work their way back into contention for the Big East tournament.
Fleming has not made any substitutions in the second half and has used the bench sparingly throughout the afternoon.
Yeah, and with the injuries that Coach Fleming has had to deal with this year, the depth isn't what he thought it would be at the start of the season, and frankly, the 11 that he has on the field in the second half are showing great grit and fight here.
Fisher, turn in midfield, finds Beer, checks his shoulders, and allows the Hoyas to get out the right side with Nealis. Fisher, Montez turns with it. Now it's Rothrock. Paul Rothrock, 1-on-1 against Burnson, trying to get to the end line. He does. Can't connect with Dodson. And good defending there from Taylor Kroll and the Musketeers.
Yeah, and there you see the quality of Kroll. Xavier is so high on that sophomore center back. Just a great understanding of the game. He's one of the players that Xavier likes to bring forward as a target on restarts.
Georgetown moves it all the way right to left. Montez, deft footwork, cutting inside. He'll find Dodson. Dodson has a run from Nealis. Nealis with space against Bell. Nealis is going to cut into his left foot, back to his right. And Bell does a good job to recover after slipping.
Yeah, I think Nealis, once he had Bell lose his footing, doesn't want to cut back into him. But that is just effort for Bell, getting up, defending hard. He concedes the corner kick, but it could have been much worse for Xavier.
Corner kick for Georgetown to be taken by number 11, Jack Beer.
Jack Beer, flicked by Hope, got a shot! Cleared off the line. Nealis was denied by Rosenberg. Rosenberg punches away, falls to Montez. Montez drive into the breadbasket of Rosenberg. And Matthew Rosenberg, the Big East leader in saves, does it again.
And what a good ball and a flick on from Hope Gund. And what a kick save. What a kick save from Rosenberg. And then Goodall cleans it up as Nealis got onto that second ball. But good team defending for Xavier.
As we go around the Big East, Butler in control against Seton Hall in what would be an important win for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and Villanova and Marquette still scoreless. But if that result holds for Butler, they'll find themselves on 7 points in the conference standings.
Tom, you talked about how many times the Hoyas have hit the 20-shot mark, already at 19 with 16 minutes remaining.
Yeah, and the last shot, certainly one that Xavier's fortunate didn't find the back of the net and give Georgetown a commanding 2-goal lead.
Sergei and Wu battle. Second ball falls to Rothrock. Play on, and then dangerous play, Rothrock. Jersey often dirtier than the average player in these matches. He likes to mix it up. Let's look for a foul there for playing on the ground. Odom out-battles Zawatsky. He has space. Derek Odom. Henderlong to his left. Good defending from J.B. Fisher. And Dotson onside, but a poor ball from Fisher cut out by Kroll. As the game opens up a bit with less than 15 remaining. Good all first-time left-footed service. Hearn heads away from harm's way. Burnson dispossessed, and it's Montez. He's behind Wilson. He has Dotson to his right. He'll play him. Montez continuing the run. Dotson's going to go to his right. Dotson shot across the face, and Montez can't direct it on net. I think he was surprised there that Dotson's service got all the way through. And what an effort from the junior from Chicago.
Yeah, Dotson gets that one all the way across the box. Patient for Derek Dotson in the box. And no one tracks back, and Montez got to complete the run, get there to the far post.
You can see in the background of that replay, he slowed down so much, accelerating, frankly, like Dotson did Monday night against Maryland. And maybe that's the simple equalizer. The simple second goal, rather.
Yeah, and you could see Xavier's shape got all out of whack there as both center backs lost their marks. No one checked their shoulder, and Montez, all he has to do is finish that run, and it is a tap-in at the far post.
Nealis off the face of Sergei, who won't even rub it. Sergei still looking for one chance to tie this game up. It's been a frustrating afternoon.
Yeah, the homecoming, the Northern Virginia native, not seeing much of the ball as the trainer will go out and check him as he got hit squarely in the face on that clearance. Great experience, a great goal scorer for Xavier. He's already worked his way into the top 10 in school history in scoring.
Seconds remain. Andy Fleming and the Musketeers try to find a way to tie up this highly rated and fun to watch Georgetown Hoya side. Unofficially in the RPI right now, Tom, the Big East with the two top teams, the Red Storm at number 1 and the Hoyas at number 2, as Beer concedes possession to Bell. Bell at speed against Wu. Wu stands him up well. Loose ball falls to Henderlong, and it's Hope Gunn who dispossesses. And then calmly evades the pressure from Henderlong. Wilson still with it as Georgetown losing a little bit in the central midfield right now.
Yeah, and Xavier doing a much better job of kind of keeping Georgetown pinned in their half here in the second half.
move forces him inside to where the covering defenders were and allows Georgetown to attack. Will Sands with a head of steam, wants it on the interior, and Kroll gets in front of it. Will Sands, it was a great run.
It was a great run, but it's the sophomore Kroll seeing it the entire way, and he just repositions himself, steps over 2 yards, and cuts that out. That's the understanding of the game tactically that's so impressive for Kroll. Sands making a huge run out of midfield.
Sean O'Hearn, stand-up defending, ball squirts to Odom. Dangerous header, but Wu gets to it first, and Nicopolitas off his line.
And that was an important header for Wu. That's the first time the Xavier striker pair of Henderlong and Sergei were both making runs and had good service.
Nicopolitas punt simply allows Rosenberg and the Musketeers to regain their composure and try to set the attack for the last 10-plus minutes at Shaw Field. A good ball finds Henderlong. No pressure on him as Zawadzki and Fisher let him go. But Nealis retreats, and he and Wu retain calm possession.
And the freshman Henderlong for Xavier, a much more impressive second stanza.
Sands cuts inside against Burnson. Now Montez. Good ball to Dotson. Clean first touch. His shot across the face. No one there as Burnson collects for the Musketeers. Now Wu and Henderlong battle. Freshman for Xavier winning the better of that battle. Odom with speed. Overlap to its right. It's a substitute Haskell. Finding Bell. His header harmless to Nicopolitas.
And clearly this game has opened up. So we're under 10 minutes to go. But in that last attack by Georgetown, it's the second or third time that Xavier's back line has found themselves completely out of shape, not checking their back shoulders. Everyone's staring at the ball, and Dotson just peels away and has acres of space.
Errant header falls to Montez. Now Beer. Beer looking for Sands, but Burnson, who came on for Bellavance in the first half, has been steady at the right back position since. And Andy Fleming's going to go to his substitute bench right now to find Peyton Miller. And for the first time today, Johanna Sinjat. Sinjat, the Norwegian, as Haskell and Webert exit.
Yeah, and Sinjat with great size as well. We talked about the success Xavier's had in the Midwest. Coach Fleming has also had success going overseas.
O'Hearn to Sands. And then Zawadzki finds Sands. Good directional header to Montez against Kroll. Montez trying to win a corner but can't. As we've said all along, Taylor Kroll, who has a little bit of that Corey Brown look to him, Tom, the former outstanding Xavier defender from New Zealand.
Yeah, Coach Fleming is really high on his sophomore center back. Thinks he has the chance to be the best defender in the conference in a couple of years. Really has a great understanding of the game.
Goodall looking for Sergei. Second ball falls to Bell. Good job by Will Sands to come back defensively. Montez's goal still the difference. O'Hearn on a dribbling expedition. And then Sean O'Hearn, the junior, found himself in several 50-50 battles there. Unfortunate that Xavier didn't get a toe poke and go the other way. Seven minutes remaining. Perfect afternoon, windless afternoon, partly cloudy here in Washington, D.C. And O'Hearn smartly heading down to allow Nicopolitas the flexibility to do what he pleases with this ball with less than 7 minutes remaining.
And a smart understanding by Nicopolitas as well, burning time off the clock there. It's a great crowd at Shaw Field.
Nealis has Beer to his right, Dotson to his left. He'll go Dotson. And Kroll out for a corner, not only giving Georgetown a chance to create a scoring opportunity, but time to tick off the Shaw Field clock as Achara, after an extended stay on the bench, enters.
And number 20, Achara, replacing number 14, Will Sands.
And Will Sands and Beer will exit in favor of Achara and McCune.
Taking the corner kick for
First look at
Georgetown,
Foster McCune today.
Jacob Montes.
Georgetown's junior from the Bethesda soccer system. It's Montez to hit this corner. Looping ball to the back post. Second ball. Still in the Georgetown box. Achara. Rosenberg posed a bit for that shot by Achara.
He did. Rosenberg's been busy today. The ball took a deflection and easy save for Xavier's keeper.
Good pocket of space for Miller, but he can't combine with Henderlong. Georgetown wants the second one as Zawadzki finds Achara. Achara with speed. Achara to Dotson. Dotson, the right-footed shot, saved by Rosenberg. Zawadzki on the rebound, saved by Rosenberg. And how about Matthew Rosenberg standing on his head to keep this game at 1?
Rosenberg with 3 spectacular saves in a row, screaming at his defensive in front of him as the first one comes off the foot of Dotson and quickly to his feet on the rebound. Rosenberg, and then he attacks the ball, and I think what he's so frustrated with is Henderlong and Zawadzki in a bad collision.
And the foul was whistled on the injured Zawadzki as he jumped too early there. Essentially undercut himself. Tom, at this pause, let's look at what the Musketeers have coming for them after this match at Shaw Field.
Yeah, crucial Big East games, home at Seton Hall and at DePaul. Xavier desperate for points, and then late in the season to have a non-conference game. And they'll finish up home to Providence and at Butler. It's Coach Fleming and his Xavier Musketeers searching for an equalizer here.
Polvera in, Zawadzki out. The Hoyas rarely play without their midfield general. Goodall's cross headed away by Nealis. Kroll, a positive first touch. Looking for Sergei. And the Nicopolitas tells Wu, I'll take this one.
And if you think about Georgetown and how important Zawadzki is to them, the only loss of the year was at Louisville, and Zawadzki got hurt in training and was unable to go in that match.
Under 4 to play. Georgetown out shooting the Musketeers 24-5 here. One of those 24, the 6th of the year for Jacob Montez, the difference. Henderlong inside. Henderlong a shot from distance, deflected. It's going to squirt to Sungat, and then Montez able to clear. But Xavier keeps it in. The Georgetown defensive third. Goodall on his preferred left foot. Dangerous service. Wu rises.
Xavier first to many of these 50-50 balls in the second half. This Goodall hit in some dangerous balls on that left side.
Odom, fancy footwork. Service. Nicopolitas off his line. He'll grab it. And the Greek Youth National System player, knows to milk the clock a bit here as it ticks under 3 minutes. A poor punt from Giannis. It looked like one of those ones on Sunday afternoon that kind of squirts about a 21-yard punt.
And you could tell he was uncomfortable with Henderlong kind of just lurking outside the box. It's the freshman striker for Xavier.
Dotson blocks that Kroll clearance. 120 seconds stand between the Hoyas and their 11th win of the season. Hoyas definitely do not want to concede a restart here of any type as Odom finds Sungat. Sungat, an exaggerated step over and a sure-footed clearance from Wu. 90 seconds remain. Sungat, the substitute, back to Kroll. Xavier sending folks forward,
And Kroll will want that one back. Xavier's done a good job of continuing to press Georgetown, but that giveaway will burn 20 seconds off the clock.
Nicopolitis hits that one better. Won by Burnson. Polvera does a good job to step in front. Now Fisher. Dotson flicks on to Achara, who's offsides. As we are 50 seconds away from the conclusion of this Big East match presented by SoFi. We'll be joined by the winning coach on the field for an interview after the match. Brian Weiss will be that man unless Xavier finds drama in the last 30 seconds. Sungat cuts inside. He'll have a chance to clip one headed. And Nicopolitis gets it, and that was the chance that Xavier wanted. Sungat a great service, and Sergei had a chance.
Yeah, we talked about Xavier's striker not needing many chances, and there he rises up over Hope Gund. And Nicopolitis with the save to preserve the victory and shutout.
And that will do it. Xavier falls to 1-4 in the conference, 5-6-1 on the season. Georgetown improves to 4-0-1 in the conference, 11-1-1, and setting up for a big-time tilt in Queens next weekend versus the Red Storm.
Yeah, massive contest, of course. St. John's on the road tonight at Creighton, but the two top teams will battle next Saturday night.
So that'll do it from Shaw Field until the interview in moments with Coach Brian Weiss, Dan Helfrich, Tom Greaser. Georgetown 1, Montez the goal scorer, Xavier 0. Dan Helfrich back alongside winning head coach Brian Weiss of the Georgetown Hoyas. And Brian, you had to be happy with the way you came out of the locker room to start the match today.
First half was good. Yeah, first half, the guys were ready to play. I think they understand how tough Xavier is and what a hard matchup that is for us. No complaints at all about the first half. Maybe if you could have found a way to get a second goal. You're always looking for the second goal. But, it's always going to be a 90-minute game, and I thought we struggled coming out in the second half. Credit to Xavier. And then, boy, we left a couple chances there, right? But keeping it 1-0 is not good for my hair or my health at the moment. But we'll take the result for sure.
Talk about the interchange between Achara, Montez, and Dotson. Achara, of course, injured for much of the season, working himself back into the rhythm. It seems those three, particularly in the first half, combining well.
They do, and they feel each other really well. They've been playing together now for fundamentally 3 years, and you see it in training, and you see it in some really fun moments trying to solve a back four. And they're pretty fluid. I think they all have a lot of comfort in moving and being interchangeable in terms of who's high, who's maybe a little bit more underneath, and I think they just feel each other really, really well.
I'm sure you noticed that St. John's is next on the schedule. The Red Storm and Dr. Dave playing terrific soccer this far this season. What do you expect next week in Queens?
St. John's is a legitimate top 5 team in the country this year. I think they've got a really special group. I think they're bought in. They got some talent. They got some athletes. Playing up there is really no fun. They have a full stadium for games. I think it's going to be a game worthy of 2 top 10 teams going after it. It should be a lot of fun. We'll look forward to that challenge.
So that's it from Shaw Field. Georgetown wins 1-0 and continues a 480-minute streak without conceding a goal. Georgetown 1, Xavier 0.